Veve has released their MTL article, discussing everything we're going to need to know when we're cashing out from Veve itself and everything that's going to be discussed moving forward. So in this video, we're going to look at the article itself, some of my recommendations that I'd like to see moving forward, and how we as a community can help push that to the direction that we want to see it. So let's get started. Welcome in everyone, my name's Andy and I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come watch this video on the channel. Just before we get going, if you are enjoying the content and you want to support me further, you can hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support me further than that, you can join the membership. I just want to say a massive thank you for 8,000 subscribers. It's mental that we've managed to reach this in such a short period of time. We're coming close to that 10k mark and it just doesn't feel real that that's even possible to say. So thank you all so much for supporting this journey and enjoying the content. Well, I hope you're enjoying the content and everything that we're moving forward with. I believe in Veve long term and what they're doing, and although I'm going to be expanding to different types of content in the future, I do feel a strong attachment to what Veve is and what it's allowed me to do in my life. Alright, so I did say I was going to make a video on the MTL article that was going to come out in the recent days, and actually managed to come out last night. I didn't think it would come out this quickly, but I guess it gives us a video to be able to do, to discuss it a little bit further, some of my thoughts on it, and hopefully give you a better insight as to what you've been looking at. So let's hop into the article. Here is what you need to know. Since the inception of Veve, many collectors have amassed amazing collections, and some have been lucky enough to sell their collectibles on Veve's secondary market for higher than actually what they paid for. Now we've begun to open access to our beta payout feature. Collectors will be able to convert their gems into a number of fiat currencies and withdraw directly to their bank accounts. So what is a payout feature? Well, the payout is a system that allows you to withdraw your gems from your Veve wallet and back into your bank account as fiat or USD. In order to use this feature, you will be required to complete KYC, know your customer, and be approved before you can make withdrawals. Information you submit to the KYC approval is securely stored by our MTL partner, BlueSnap. BlueSnap is a global payment gateway and merchant account provider in financial services and payments in over 200 regions and 47 countries. BlueSnap has been around for a while and they focused, I think, mainly on e-commerce before stuff like this anyway. It's good to see we're partnering with a global company. This is something Veve aimed for initially, and this will allow them to take some stress off of all the legalities and things that they'll have to do when it comes to that. So we are partnering with an MTL company. It's not Veve doing it themselves in all these situations. They are partnering with this global company, and that's maybe the reasons we're getting some of these types of fees. Please note, the payout feature is in beta with a number of users trialing the system right now each week. And each week we'll invite additional groups of users to optionally join the program. The KYC process and payout request screenshots below, beta versions only. This is an important note to make. People who are using the beta right now probably aren't allowed to say that they're using the beta. So you might have not seen anyone on Twitter talking about them actually using it, probably because they're not allowed to. And this payout feature, something that I've always said, it has to be done right. If Veve do this wrong and something doesn't go right, where people don't get their money out, their money's lost in some random transaction where they don't get what they'd put in, there's going to be lawsuits there. Veve will be shut down. Just simple as that. They'll be able to handle hundreds of thousands of cases where all the money has disappeared and gone and you're not able to take it out because there was a flaw in the system where someone was able to steal all the money or something like that. Understand, I don't know all the backgrounds of this, how things could happen, how security could be an issue, but I do want to take note that this has to be done correctly, and if not, Veve are kind of finished. If you don't allow your consumers to get what they actually deserve, just the end of business, let's be honest. I understand maybe why they're taking so long. I think the thing that most people were upset about was just the times that they said. They should never have mentioned when this was going to be coming out and dates when they didn't actually have that information. Banks and legal issues, and as they're shifting in the crypto and NFT sphere, they're not really determined just yet. So being able to actually give dates or specific months wasn't the best idea, and I believe they would hold their hands up and say that was a stupid idea to do. It's something that has just happened. This isn't something to defend them by, it's just an important aspect to note of. I really wish they hadn't have done that, but now we are seeing this as the case. They're in beta testing and they're going to be getting new people each week. Right here it gives us an information on how to log in and how to actually take out. So if you go into omi.veve.me, you log into your account just the way you would in your Veve app. You'll see this page where it is your gems, your Omi balance, and then the payout feature. Now you can't actually use that at the moment, but you will find this is where the payout feature will be. And a reminder to always use strong passwords to protect your assets. For your customers, something we talked about quite a lot. So regulations require you to provide identification documents in order to complete a financial transaction. Processing a payment transaction on Veve is no different, and you will be required to complete this process before you can withdraw. Completing Veve's KYC is a relatively straightforward process. You'll need to enter your personal information. You'll also need to provide some preliminary details, the ID number for one piece of government issue ID, ID with a social security, passport or driver's license, and when you're ready to proceed, simply hit begin KYC process to begin entering your information. And here we can see the information that you're going to be entering, just the usual stuff we've saw when it comes to KYC stuff. It's not that complicated. We've all been through this before, and this is just an important aspect to make sure that what you're getting is actually yourself and they can actually show that it's going to your bank. During this step, you only need to enter the number associated with your chosen form of ID. If you're a US citizen, you'll be asked for the last 4 digits of your social security. BlueSnap will then contact you via the email address you provided to request the actual ID document. This email will contain a link to take you to a secure portal to upload your identity verification. Note, please do not enter a country code for your phone number. So it does say here that you're not meant to enter your country code for your phone number. It's just putting your phone number in. Here we've then got the payout methods. Once you have submitted your personal details and ID number, you'll be taken to the payout methods screen. Here you'll base your currency and the bank account details where you wish to receive the payout, and at the time of writing, you can receive all of these currencies at the moment. That will probably increase in the future. As of right now, you can opt in to receive anyway in your bank these types of currencies. But what about if you don't have these types of currencies? If your home currency is not the one on the currencies listed, you can still use the payout feature. However, we recommend contacting your bank to ensure they can perform the currency conversion for you and deposit your local currency into your account as normal. In the majority of cases, selecting USD will be most appropriate option for you as accepted by most banks in most countries. Again, please contact your financial institution to confirm that you will receive your payout and to understand the fees they may charge for this service. This is just another addition to take note of. If your home currency isn't actually set there and you can't take out, go for USD, but contact your bank first and see what they do. You might actually be charged more fees from what I can see there if they have to do it themselves, if they have to convert it for you because they don't actually accept your local currency at the moment. It is an important aspect to take note of. I don't know how much extra this may be, if banks even charge extra or that's just something they do for their consumers. Again, each bank institution is going to be different. Just contact them, make sure everything's okay. Once you've submitted your personal banking details, you'll see that KYC application is pending and you'll receive an email from our NTL provider requesting your proof of identity documentation and proof that you control the bank account that you have provided details for. This email will contain a link to a secure upload facility to maintain the security of your information. And when opening any links, please double check that it has come from BlueSnap and you are indeed taken to a secure site. This again, I see some scammers going to try to take advantage of you here. You've got to make sure that you're double and triple checking what you're clicking on, especially when you're using your identification. There'll probably be some form of way to check. Just make sure that you're doing that and taking that into account. If this is the money that you're taking out, you got to make sure that you're planning and you got to make sure that you're being as safe as you possibly can. If I change my banking details, once your KYC application has been approved, you can change your banking details at any time by tapping the edit payout button. The process is the same as the initial setup, and again, MTL provider will contact you for proof verification of your new banking details. But how long does it take to actually approve? Once you've submitted your information, you should expect your MTL provider to make contact with you in the next 5 business days, requesting your documents for verification. Once provided, they will either approve or deny your KYC application, and in the meantime, you will see the pending screen as below, and the pending screen will change to approved once this has actually been done and once the application is over. So what about requesting a payout? Once your KYC application has been approved, you can proceed to request a payout. To do this now or in the future, simply hit the payout button again on the web wallet home screen and you'll see the payout home screen below. This is what you're going to be seeing when it comes to the payouts that you're going to be making, requesting payouts, everything that's going on. It does actually seem here that you're able to take cash withdrawals out, multiples of cash withdrawals out, once the pending has started and maybe once the process has been going on. Maybe this is after Veve's process, but I'm not too sure. Maybe we find that a little bit later out within this document. Here you can request a new payout, edit your payout method, and view your withdrawal history. Assuming your payment details are up to date, simply tap the request payout button to get started. Then enter the number of gems you would like to withdraw up to a maximum of 50k gems per week. This screen will also detail showing the 10% per transaction and the total value in gems that you'll receive. Tap next to continue and you will be presented with a final confirmation screen, and if you're happy with the details, tap accept and submit for the processing. This is what you'll see on the screen when you've put in the gems that you're taking out, the fee that's going to be happening with it, your payout being processed within 7 to 14 days, and then all your details within what you're going to be getting, your account name, your bank name, account number, so you can see if everything's good there. And there is an edit button there where you can see the transaction details and you can shift these to work in your favor. And again, as it said, it takes within 5 business days within Veve itself and can take up to 15 days from the point to arrive in your account. This is probably going to depend on your institution, your bank, how they handle things, how quickly they handle things. This will all be determined through the process, and I'm guessing we're going to see that once it's actually out. Fees and withdrawal times. There are a few numbers to be aware of when processing a payout. These details are also given with you making your payout request. You must have a minimum of 1,000 gems to trigger the payout. There's a 50 gem minimal withdrawal. 10% fee will apply to payout transactions, and the maximum withdrawal amount for now is 50,000 gems in a 7-day period. Withdrawals can take up to 7 to 14 days to be processed and arrived in your account, and the speed of this greatly depends on your banking institution and the traditional financial system with Wire and Swift. As such, you should allow up to 15 days for your payout to be credited to your account from the time it has been approved. And it's also likely that your bank will impose an incoming wire transfer fee as typical of international Swift network transactions. This is typically around 35 USD, and you may also be charged a currency conversion fee if applicable. We're going to get into the FAQ, but that's just a little bit of a rundown of what MTL is going to be, what the payout's like. I know some of you are feeling different ways on this. Everyone has their own opinions on this front. I'm going to be giving some of my opinions on this and how I believe we can actually move forward after we go in the FAQ. But it is a step in the right direction. MTL was something that we should have got quite a while ago. I understand banking institutions' illegalities probably held them back for quite a while, but it does seem now that everything is confirmed and they're coming to the closing stages of actually getting this released. So let's have a look at the FAQ. Restricted countries. There are some restrictions on some countries due to international regulations and sanctions. They are no different from those imposed by ordinary financial institutions and in most cases crypto exchanges. A full list of currencies/countries that are supported by BlueSnap can be found here. Here you're going to be able to see if your country is financially alright to actually do this and take it out. You'll be able to see if your country fits within this, but it is obviously quite a lot of countries that are here. There's only going to be a fair few. As I've said in one of my videos before, it's most likely going to be the countries that are already banned and restricted for cryptocurrency in general and have heavy legalities when it comes to financial institutions. So more often or not, the people who are here right now probably can take their money out. So why don't I have access? The payout feature is a new integration and is currently in beta. To ensure adequate testing of the payout, it will be rolled out to small groups to begin and will progressively open access to larger batches of collectors and eventually all users. When our testing parameters have been satisfied, please stay tuned on our socials for more updates. Again, I've said this before in the video, if they do this wrong, they're done. It's just as simple as that. If they get it right, then it will be good. People won't have as many complaints and they need to make sure that it runs okay. This is people's money that they're playing with. I know people are probably going to say the gems are people's money that they're going to play with, and I do get that, I really do. But if this isn't done right, there will be more of an uproar than ever before. I think this is the best route forward, and as long as they do it right, I'm happy. Can I request more than one withdrawal at a time? Yes, as long as the total amount doesn't exceed 50,000 gems in 7 days. So you can request more than one withdrawal as long as it doesn't exceed that price. So issues with KYC. Any issues providing ID or verification the KYC approves need to be directed to BlueSnap support. Veve does not hold, store, or have any access to information that you're providing, nor are we the final arbiters of these decisions. So sure that if you have problems with KYC, you're contacting BlueSnap. It's not Veve who's doing this. They don't hold your information. I think this is actually a good move on their behalf, because then the customer service can scale on Veve and be more focused on Veve related stuff rather than KYC related stuff. So we'll see how that actually plans out and moves forward. Fee comparison. There are a number of company incurred costs associated with an international payout feature, and the 10% fee charged is in line with these costs and similar platforms. For example, eBay charges a minimum fee of 12.55% on sales up to 7,500 in value, and an additional 2.35% on any portion over $7,500. Similar platforms like Etsy charge a 20-cent listing fee for any item and a 5% transaction fee. Should your listings be found and purchased as a result of their third-party advertisements known as an offsite and fee, you will also be charged an additional 15% on the value of the item sold. This is a rundown of the MTL and the payout details and what you're actually going to have to know. Now, I understand some of it is maybe a little bit complicated in the beginning, but I'm sure there will be a lot of YouTube videos that go over it, and this Medium article will be your best friend when it comes to actually doing it yourself. Now, one thing that has been talked about heavily at the moment is the 10% fee charged with these costs. Some people were saying as well they would rather have the comparison when it comes to things like Topshop and Recur. Now, I don't actually feel that it was solely Veve's decision to do this. Remember, they're using a global company to actually help them do this properly, and therefore they're going to be charging a fee on this no matter what. So my guess is that they've took a certain amount of fee and Veve's maybe added on a little bit here and there for them to take some form of money when it comes to this, whether that's to pay other things or whatever. They're probably adding some form of percentage onto this, but I don't actually believe it will be that high. Another thing was that they were comparing with eBay and Etsy, where they aren't cryptocurrency sort of places in general, and people would rather them focus on something like Top Shot and Recur. Now, the difference with Recur right now, and Doctor of Stuff actually talked about this in Crypto Rain's live stream. He says he works closely in the financial institutions, and he was saying that someone who's making an MTL for the US, who's based in the US, is already a lot easier to do than every other country in the world. So right now we don't have information in regards to if there's going to be additional percentage fees when you're going across the world. Recur are going to be adopting someone like BlueSnap in order to help them actually with MTL in that process. But I think Recur done this very tactically, and it's very, very well done. At the end of the day, Veve and Recur are competitive businesses. They're running for the same thing, for the same licenses. So this is very important for one of them to get the upper hand on the other and try to play the better card. And MTL has been on the minds of Veve users for months on end now. Recur were able to do that when they said they were going to do it, which is an amazing step forward. And I also believe they released their article with the minimum fees because they knew that Veve were going to have to charge a certain percentage of fees because they were partnering with someone like BlueSnap and were aiming for worldwide rather than just the US. So although I understand that comparison can be made, I don't really think it should right now. There's different licenses involved. There's different things happening. Recur's also only online and not on the Apple Store. So I don't know, there's a few things there that I don't feel line up the same way. It's the same as Top Shot. Right now, their cash out, from what I can see anyway, is just for the US, Canada, and the UK. There is the processing fee, just like usual, but other than that, you can't actually withdraw anywhere else. I'm guessing they're going to be actually in America themselves, so getting the regulations for the likes of America and Canada are probably easier, and you don't actually need that much of a difference in regards to the percentage. Because they've partnered up with BlueSnap, I can understand why the percentage is higher than that then, because they're the ones holding all the information, they're doing all the customer support, they have to get paid somehow, and Veve will probably not only be paying them just in general to be able to use their services, but this percentage for each transaction that people are making. And listen, I want the fee to be lower. I don't want to lose more of my money. That's not something I want to do, but I do understand business, and business isn't this easy thing to do, especially when it comes to something that literally has zero history. We don't have anything to compare it with. We don't have any backlogs to look at. It's a complete new space. So as of right now, there isn't really the same competition or the same comparisons that we can make to any other company. Recur haven't released anything yet. They haven't done anything. They're based in the US. Veve are going for the world in terms of MTL. Recur have started with America. And it's not to say that isn't a good thing. That's fantastic. Same as Top Shot. They started with America, moved to the UK, Canada as well. And I don't believe they have worldwide from what I can see anyway in regards to Dapper, the ones that they've actually partnered with. So there's nothing really to compare it with. I do hope that these percentages will lower over time, and I think they actually will, because they do often listen to the community and what they're thinking about. But if that does happen, there's probably going to have to be some changes. So here are some of my thoughts on that. I think one of the things that we could do once the web app is fully up and running is actually do something like a lot of these companies do in regards to prices and web prices. So you charge $1.30 for every gem on the phone and $1 for every gem on the web app. Now again, some people aren't going to be happy with that, but no one's ever going to be happy. You're never going to make everyone happy with what you're doing. They could charge 20%, people would want lower. You could charge 5%, people would want lower as well. There's nothing that you can actually make everyone happy with. But in order for them to offset maybe some of the prices that they're getting when it comes to the 30% that's being charged from Apple and Google, maybe you incentivize people to go elsewhere like Twitch does on the browser rather than on the phone. They charge more on the phone rather than the browser because they want you to spend more time on the browser, and they also get more money and don't have to incur that fee. Therefore, they make it more expensive on the phone because they actually have to incur that. This is where Veve can do the same and charge 1.3 for every gem on the phone and $1 for every gem on the web app, pushing people towards the web app and for what they're actually wanting to use. This can help more people get more gems and therefore allows Veve to not actually eat up all the percentages that are happening. Another thing I would like to see is the lowering of the 10%, but I do, as I've said, the MTL are going to take a cut. BlueSnap are going to take a cut of this. Veve are probably taking a small percentage of profits from somewhere when it comes to it. Again, they're a business to make money. They're not here to be your charity. So again, that makes business sense. I understand people are going to be upset about that. And the other one that I saw suggested in a few areas was actually increasing the price of collectibles. So as of right now, we're getting an average of maybe around 50 to 60 gems of the collectibles. Some are a little bit higher, some are a little bit lower, especially with the comic books, they're lower too. And one of the ideas were to increase the collectible prices so that they are able to use that extra money to pay for the things like the fees. So I think it's one of those things that has to be worked out. what is actually the best route for them. If they increase prices, people are going to be upset that they've increased prices, and they could potentially lower the percentage that it would actually cost in order for you to take out your money if you were cashing out. So where does that balance come in? Does it actually make sense? Does it not? Something that needs to be discussed by the team, and something that's going to be happening with that. Finally, the last thing I would really like to see is lowering the amount it takes to cash out. Right now, it's going to be 1,000 gems you're going to need in order to cash out. I think this will change, but my idea was that they're doing 1,000 in the beginning to get the heavy hitters out the road. Because yes, there's going to be people selling for the 1,000 gems to get up to there to cash out their money, but there's also going to be some big heavy hitters on this platform that could take out a lot of money in consecutive weeks, and they're probably looking to see those heavy hitters come in first, really see the damage that's going to be done to the amount of reserve money they might have in order to actually control this and see how much they're working with moving forward. So this will be a good thing to start off with. I do believe that will be lowered quite quickly in the next coming months once it's actually fully released, but I guess we're going to see. That's a little bit of a rundown of MTL, and I know I probably went in quite a lot of detail in regards to what I was thinking and just the overall Medium article, but I do believe these are very important videos to take note of and just consider, because they are your investments and it's something to look at from a wider scope rather than just your single mind. So if anyone does have any comments about this, please let me know down below. Let's keep it civil, let's keep it constructive. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.